Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to solve the problem which is called distinct subsequences. Let's get started. So you are given two strings s and t. You have to return the number of distinct subsequences of s which equal t. Okay, let's try to take an example to understand. For example, s is this string and t is this particular string. So how can we find out words that have the word bag, right, which are a part of the string s? Let's try to find out how many such words are there before moving on to the logic and code. So let's list down bag. This is one particular word, right? Bag, that is present in s. Okay, let's try to see some other, something like this, bag. So we have found two words as of now. Okay, let us try to see some other word. This is one word, right? So three. So we have listed down three words. Let's list them again. So this is one word, this is another word, and this is another word, right? So these are the words possible with the first character as B. Now what about if we take this B? If we take this B, what will happen? You can have this bag, right? This is one of the possible words. So as of now we have four words. What about if you take this B? Then you can form bag like this, right? So five. Totally you can form bag in five different ways, right? Here in the string s, you can list down five different ways to make the word bag. Okay, how do we go about solving this problem? So we can see that at every step we have choices to make. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me erase this and let us try to see what choices we have. We know that we have to form bag, right? So let's say we match the first character B with the first character B, right, here in the string T. So now we know that we are done with the first character. So you have to make the remaining character AG in the remaining part of the string. This is where we get the idea for recursion, right? You compare character by character. Once you find a matching character, you can go to the next character, right? So this is one approach that we can take. Okay, now let's break it down. Suppose we have counted this particular character B, right? What is left of us? So this problem reduces to the same problem whenever S is the remaining character string, right? And what is your T? Your T is going to get reduced to AG, okay? Because you have eliminated B, you are taking the first B, right? What if you don't choose this path? You still have an option, right? You can still form bag in other ways. It is not necessary you take the first B. It is your choice. If you don't want to take the first word B, okay, then also, right, you can continue with the remaining part of the string. So let's say we continue with the remaining part of the string. Okay, we continue with the remaining string. We still have to make bag, but we have less number of characters. We can still make bag. Okay, so there are two choices at every step. Okay, once we draw the entire recursion flowchart, it will be much more clearer. So now we have two choices. For each of the two choices, we again have two choices. Okay, let's list them down. So now the problem is reduced to this. Now in this problem, again you have two choices, right? First choice is, right, A and A are same. So let's say you consider this A. Okay, you consider this A. In that case, what are you going to do? Your S will reduce, right? You have just the remaining characters, and from the remaining characters, right, you have already counted. Let's say you have counted A, you just have to make G now. Okay, so this is one of the choices that you can take, but this is not the only choice. You can still take the other choice where you need not take this particular A, right? You can take some other A which is part of the string later on. So the second choice that you will make is, right, from the remaining characters, you will try to make up the same string. Okay, the same string which is AG. So T remains same, but your S gets reduced. Okay, so it's like shifting indices. Okay, let's say we are starting with the first index of both. Here we are starting, let's say, with I equal to 0, J equal to 0. At each step we are also moving I and J. Okay, so in the first choice that we make, we are moving both I and J. If the characters match, we can move both I and J. Okay, or the second choice, you can just move I and you can let J remain as such. So you have two choices at each step. Okay, let's try to draw out the recursion flowchart, then it will be more clearer. Now again, for this particular choice, you again have two choices to make, right? So do we have two choices here? Now let's think about this. We cannot cancel this b with this g, right? You cannot do that because this b is not the same as this g. You cannot just eliminate this b and g and you can say you have made the string. You cannot do that because it will not give you the answer. You need to find this g exactly, right? So in this case, when the characters don't match, right, then you have only one choice. You have to move your I forward. Okay, you have only one choice in this case, and that choice is moving your I forward and letting your j remain as such because your characters are not matching. Okay, so let's list down what we have written. If characters are matching, if characters match, you have two choices. Okay, so what are those two choices? Move move I and j both. Okay, that is, you have found the character, you're considering that character. This is one of the choice, right? Or the second choice is you move only I. Okay, you try to form the remaining characters without taking the I. Okay, but if characters don't match, right, else. So this was the if condition, right? And the else condition will be if characters don't match, you have only one choice, and that one choice is simply move I. Okay, that is a simple logic. Now let's try to complete this recursive flowchart. So then it will be much more clearer. So in this case, you have to try to find G in this particular string. Okay, now let's go ahead. How can we form G in this particular string? So now G and G match. So you can eliminate G and G and you will be left with BAG and you will be left with T. T is equal to empty string. So now you have reached the base case for the first time. You have reached an empty string means you have formed all the characters that you wanted to make, right? So you found a B, then you found a, then you found a G. So you have made bag which you wanted to make. So in this case, what you can do, you can simply return back. When you reach an empty case, so you can simply return back, right? You can sort of backtrack. Okay, when you backtrack, right, you can go to the next choice that you have. In this case, you had two choices, right? When you took the first choice, you were able to reach a final solution and backtrack. So you can return one. You have found one way to make bag, but you still have another way, right? So you will backtrack and you will try to think of the second choice in this case. What was the second choice? You don't consider the first character, right? You don't consider the first character. You go ahead in your quest with the remaining characters. Okay, you go ahead in your quest with the remaining characters and you still have to make G. Okay, you can still make G, right? So let's go ahead and try to complete this recursion tree. Now in this case, you have only one choice because B and G don't match. So you cannot try to eliminate G here. You will try to form G from the remaining characters, right? So let's go forward. Now again, you have only one choice in this particular case because A and G don't match. So your I moves forward and J also. J remains as such. Now in this case, your characters G and G match, right? So when your G and G match, you have two choices, right? What are the two choices? First choice is you eliminate G and G. In case you eliminate both of them, means you have found the match, right? So in this case, S will also be empty string, T will also be empty string. So you have reached a base case, right? You can return with success of 1. Okay, you can say that you have found one way and you can return back because you have reached the empty case, you have made all the characters. In the second case, right, you will continue forward on your quest. You still have to make G, but your S is an empty string. How can you make G? How can you find G in an empty string? You cannot find G in an empty string, right? So in this case, you can return 0. So you will backtrack from here and you will return 0. Okay, so in this case, you can return 0. Now you have finished the cases. You can add up both the cases. 1 plus 0 is 1, so you can return back 1. Okay, so let me backtrack. We will return back 1 here. We will return back 1, and once it returns back to the parent call, again you can return back 1. Okay, so from everywhere all the calls will return back to the parent call and you can return back 1. Now here 1 plus 1 is 2, so you can return back 2. Okay, so in this case we will return back 2. We will add both the ways and we will return back 2. Okay, So this is how we'll go forward, and then this parent call will also end. So you will finally return back 2 here. Okay. Now in this case, again you had two choices, right? For this character you had two choices, either to take this A or you don't take this A, right? Either you can take this A or try to find a A later on. So if you took this particular A, you were left with only making G, and that call had returned back, right? You made that call returned back, right? This call returned back, and this call returned back with a value of 2. There were two ways in which you could form AG, okay, using the first A. But there was another choice, this choice which we still haven't explored, and this choice was you need to still form AG, but you didn't take the first A. So with the remaining string you need to form AG. Okay, so let's try to see in how many ways can it be done. So in this case, first two characters don't match, right? So you just have one choice to make. You just have one choice. With the remaining characters you will try to make AG. Okay, again in this case G and A don't match, so you have only one choice, right? The one choice is you move ahead. With the remaining characters you try to make AG. Okay, so let's move forward. Again you have one choice, B and A don't match, so with the remaining characters you will try to make AG. Now in this case you can notice that A and A match, right? So in this case you have two choices, right? In this case you have two choices. So either you take the A that you have with you. If you take the A that you have with you, both A and A will get cancelled out. Okay, so you have this particular choice, which is a good choice. If you don't take the particular choice, then you can move forward, but you will still have AG to make. And we can very clearly see, if we go down in this cases, answer will be 0, right? We can go down and still try to list all the cases. Finally we'll reach to a situation where we will not be able to make AG using just G. Okay, so you have to make the string AG using G, but how can you make that? You cannot make. So all these calls will anyway backtrack to 0. So there's no use going down and finding out all those calls. And this call will finally return. This call will also go to two different calls, right? First call is you will get both of them as empty string. This base case will return you 1 as the answer, right? It will return you 1 as the answer because you have made G with G. Okay, and the second case will be when you will try to make G with an empty string. This will return 0. You cannot make G with an empty string, right? So in this case you will return 0. So 1 plus 0 will be 1, and you can return back 1. Okay, and this call is anyway returned 0. This call will return back 1. So you can keep on doing this, and you can see that many of the calls will also be repeating. But let me just complete this recursion tree. So this calls will return back to the parent call. Everything will return back to the parent call, and finally we are coming back to this parent call, and we have returned back 1. Now 2 plus 1 is 3, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. So we will return back 3 to the parent call. So if we have taken the first character, right, then we have found 3 ways of making the solution. If we go into this side of the tree, you will see that there will be 2 ways to make this back. You can keep on doing the calls again and again, and finally you will be left with 2 ways. So this side will return back 2. Okay, and then 3 plus 2 will be 5. Finally 5 will be your answer that you can return back to the main call. You can see that many calls were repeating while we were trying to draw out the entire recursive tree. So you can use dynamic programming. You can store the values corresponding to particular I and j, and if you have used them before, you need not use them again. So now let's try to code this. Let me do one thing. Let me reset it, and let's try to code the solution. So let's say we have a choices function, and we are going to call it, right, st, and let's say we also pass along the size. So s dot size int m is equal to, let's say, t dot size, and we pass I, we pass j. Okay, initially we declare them as 0, and we pass n, m, I, j, everything to this function. Okay, and this is going to return the answer which we are going to return back to this function. Okay, so now you have two strings s and t, and you have the sizes of the string in the form of n and m, and you have I and j as the indices. Okay, so our base case, right, what will be our base cases? Let's write them. So the first base case will be when you have made the string, you have successfully made the string. If j is equal to m, right, you have successfully reached the end of the string t which you want to make. In that case you can return 1 because you have formed the string. Otherwise, right, else if you reach the case when you have reached, let's say, the end of the string s, okay, in that case you have not been able to form the um, characters, because some character of string t will be remaining. Okay, let's try to take a case. For example, if your s is s has become, like, let's say, empty string, right? When we saw the examples, when s became empty string, but for example t still had some value, let's say g. How can you form g from an empty string? You cannot, right? You need some characters like g or ag or gag or whatever. You need somewhere, you need something in s to form g, right? But if it is s is empty, how can you form g, right? So this is that base case. So in that case you will return 0. This so now these are the two base cases that you need to take care of. Okay, otherwise what you can do is you can simply make the call again to the choices function. Okay, now there are two decisions that we have to take. Now first case is when your s of I is equal to t of j, both the characters are matching. In that case you can take the character, right? Let's say b is matching. Okay, let's say let's take our example itself, this example. So let me copy this example. In this case, when this b is matching with this b, right, let's say you are at the first index itself and both b's are matching. So in that case you can take this b itself. If you take this b, you will just be left with the remaining strings, right? So that is the first choice that you can make. So I will make the first choice. So everything will remain same except I and j will move forward by one step each, because you are moving to the next index. You have to form the remaining characters. Okay, if you are able to form, you will make the answer. But there will be one more case, right? Let me rewrite the string back. Now in this case, let's say you can form bag from this bag also, or from this b also, right? You need not take the first b necessarily. You still have a choice to ignore that. So let's say we don't take the first b, right? We try to form bag from the remaining characters. So in this particular case, right, you can have one more option where you move forward I, but you don't move forward j, because you are not taking this b, right? But you are eliminating the first character from s. So these are the two choices that you have. Okay, now else, in case the characters don't match at all, right? Let's say you have reached this particular case. When you have reached this particular case, let me write the case down again here. So in this case, when you're trying to compare A with B, there is no way that they are matching, right? You cannot eliminate both of them. You cannot just do this, right? Because they are not matching. So in this case, what will you do? In this case, you have to just shift I, because you will just move forward and try to see if the next characters are matching, right? That is the only option that you have. You will try to see if the next characters are matching. So in this case, you will just shift I and you will let j remain as such. Okay. So I plus 1 and j. So that's it. Now I can do return and I can do return here. Okay. Now this is a simple recursive solution that we have. Let's try to see if it is okay, if it is getting accepted. So this is fine, but let me submit and see if we get a time limit exceeded error. So we are getting a time limit exceeded error, right? Because for a very large cases, this recursive solution is exponential. Now we want to reduce the time limit, right? How can we reduce the time limit? So it's very simple. Just try to store previous solutions and try to access them. So let me do one thing. Let me declare vector int tp. Okay. So corresponding to each I and j, let's just store the answers here. So let me declare that here. So dp.resize, and let me resize it. So corresponding to the particular I and j, I am going to store the answer. Initially, let me store -1, right? Corresponding to each I and j. As it changes, I will store the correct value. Okay. So now let me just say if answer is already present in the DP, right? If DP of ij, if we have already catched the answer, right? If the answer is already catched or stored already, we need not go into the recursive calls. Okay, we need not go to below recursive calls to calculate it again. This is where we are going to save some time. So if dp of ij not equal to -1, right? Because initially I've given it -1. So if it is not -1, means there's a valid value which we have previously calculated. Then we can return that value. Okay, so we can return dp of ij. Okay. Now, how do we save it? So just instead of simply doing return, I will also save it. So save here. That's it. Very minimal changes to recursive code. Instead of simply giving return, I have just added these two words here. That's it. And I have added this if condition here. Now let's try to run and see if it is working fine. So it's fine. Now let's submit and see if it is going to get accepted. So it is still giving the time limit exceeded error. Okay. So let's see if we can build a better bottom-up solution for this. Let's continue with the bottom-up approach. Now we'll try to make a DP table to solve this problem in the best type complexity that we can. So now I've listed down S like this, the string S like this, and the string T along the vertical column. Now we'll try to make a table and try to solve the same problem using the best and the most efficient method, right? So in this case, I have listed down empty character also. So again, the problem remains the same. We need to form the characters of T, right, which are BAG, using the characters in S. Okay. So now we'll try to fill the table, and in the end we will have the number of ways. So first, when we have an empty character, right? Let's say we have an empty character along T. What does that mean? That means suppose you want to make only this empty character, then you can definitely make it, right? You don't need any character to make it. So in the first row, we can simply fill 1, right? Because you don't need any character to make the empty character. Any character is sufficient to make the empty character, right? So you can just fill 1. What about the first column? Now in the first column, suppose you have only empty character, you don't have anything else, and you want to make character, let's say B. Can you make B using an empty character? We can never make, right? It will not be sufficient. So in that case, the number of ways will be 0, because if we want to make any character using an empty character, we don't have any possible chance to do that. Okay, now let us try to see the remaining characters. Now let's say, what does this row and this column corresponds to in the table? This means that you are trying to make this character B, right? You are trying to make this character using only these characters from S. Now how can you make B? Now B and B are matching. This means that you have two choices. As discussed in the recursive approach also, the logic remains same. We have two choices. One choice is, right, you take this B, okay, you use this B. We have a choice either to use this B or to not use this B. Let's say we choose to use this B, then what? If we use this B, we just have to make empty string, and we can use an empty string. So we can look up, there is one way to make an empty string using an empty string, right? So we have found one way. If we choose to use this B, we have found one way. Okay, what if we do not use this B? If we don't use this B, right? If we decide we are not going to take this B, can we somehow make the character B without using the first B that we have, right? So we don't want to use this, but we want to make B. How many ways can we do that? 0 ways, right? So basically what we are doing is we are just adding up this and this. Okay, we are just adding up these two answers to try to form the character B. So 1 plus 0 is 1, right? 1 plus 0 is 1, and the answer will be 1 for this particular case. Okay, let's move forward. Now we have this particular row and this particular column. Now in this case the characters don't match. So the characters B and A don't match. So now the problem is very simple, because if the characters don't match, there is no way we can use A. A is useless, right? So you can try to just use the previous characters, because A anyway is useless. A is not matching with B, right? A is not matching. So we can try to see if we can somehow use B. So we can look up the previous answer in the DP table and we can see if we can use the previous characters to make this B. So we are looking up because we have the answer for the previous character, because we are filling the DP table like this, right? So for the previous values we already have the answer, right? We already have this one. So since B and A don't match, right, the answer will simply be the value in the previous table. Okay, so in this particular case the answer will simply be 1. So let me just fill the same answer as this and it will be 1. Now let's go forward to the next value. So in the next value, along this row and this column, B and B are matching, right? So you have two ways. When the characters are matching, you have two ways. What are the two ways? You use this B or you don't use this B. If you use this particular B, right, if you choose to use it, then you will see if you can form the remaining characters. So you will look up DP table in diagonal left, because if you can form the remaining characters, then you can use up this B, right? You can use up this B and this B, and you can get your answer. Okay, so there is one way to do that. Also, if you choose not to use this B, if you don't use this B, then also you can use the remaining characters, right? You can still use the previous character. You could have used this B to form the B here. So 1 plus 1, your answer is 2, right? In this case you will add up these two boxes, right? So when the characters are same, basically logic is simple. When the characters are same, add these two boxes and write the answer. When the characters are not same, just see the answer from the previous value. Okay, so now let's try to fill the DP table quickly. So in this particular case, the character B and G are not same, so just look up the previous value in the DP table. So it is 2, so I will just fill 2 here. Let's go to the next value. Next value, B and B, they are same, so I will add up these two values. 1 plus 2 is 3, so I will fill up 3 here. Let's go to the next value in the DP table. A and B are not same, so you'll just look up the previous value in the DP table. So it will be 3. Okay, in the next case, B and G are not same, so the previous value is 3, so we can just fill that. Now we can go forward to the next character. We have made B, right? We are able to make B in 3 ways. Now we want to make the next character, which is A, right? We want to make A. So how do we make A? Okay, again we follow the same process. So first this particular row and this particular column. So A and B don't match, right? So we'll just look up the previous value, right? So it is 0. A and A are matching in this particular case, so we will add these two values. 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, let's see the next value. A and B don't match, so we'll just copy the previous value, which is 1. Okay, A and G also don't match, so we'll copy the previous value. A and B don't match, so we'll copy the previous value, which is 1. Now A and A match, so we will add these two values. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, next case, A and G don't match, so we'll copy the previous value, which is 4. Now the last row is left. So in the last row, again, till we see a G, we can just copy the previous value, right? So it will be 0 till you see a G. Now G and G match, so in this case 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, and next G and B don't match, so it is 1. G and A don't match, so it is 1. G and G match, right? So 4 plus 1 is 5. So we can get our answer, which is 5 in this particular case. Okay. So this is the DP table. You can now let's try to code it, right? So now we can see that the code would have become much more simpler. Let's try to write the code. So vector int DP, and I can give the size of this DP table. So int, let's say n is equal to t dot size, and let's say m is equal to s dot size, and initially I can declare it to be of size n plus 1 comma m plus 1, and I can initially make all the values as 0. Okay, because why we are giving +1, because we are also storing the empty character. Now in the first row of the DP table we can make everything as 1, because you don't need any character to make an empty character. So in this case, for int j equal to 0, j less than equal to m, j plus plus, dp of I, dp of 0, j is equal to 1. Now for the remaining values we can try to fill the DP table. So for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus, and for int j equal to 1, j less than equal to m, j plus plus. Now, how do we fill the DP table? So we just see if the characters are matching or not, right? So let's say if the characters are matching, that means t of I minus 1 is equal to s of j minus 1. I am taking I minus 1 because it is 0 based index. Like for example, p here will correspond to the 0th index in the string t, but here in the DP table it's corresponding to the first row. So that is why I am giving -1. Okay. So if they are matching, in this particular case, it is a match, and then your DP of ij in that case will simply be DP of I minus 1, j minus 1, right? You have two choices. Either you take the character, or you can try to not take the character also, right? You can try to see if you can use the previous characters to form it, right? So DP of I j minus 1, right? So you have two choices. Else you can else if they don't match anyway, right? So if they don't match, you don't have two choices, you just have a single choice, and the choice is simple. So DP of ij will simply be equal to the previous value, right? So that's it. Now you can finally return DP of nm. So let's see if this is working. Let's run and see if it is fine. So it's finished. Let's see if it is working for all the test cases. So there's an error. Now the error is signed integer overflow error. Okay. So let us try to see if we can resolve it. It's not able to fit in the values. So let me try to put in long values, and let's see if that will solve the error. So that is still an error. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me also give unsigned. So that will try to accommodate it, and let's try to submit and see if it is working for all the test cases. So now it's an accepted solution.